All right, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Assisted Living Investing. Today we're going to be talking about assisted living. Is it facing a financial crisis, a crisis at all, because of the government shutdowns that are happening here in the United States right now? As of the recording of this, we're a little over a week. I think we're getting close to 2 weeks now into having that shutdown be in place. And so I wanted to get into is this something that you need to worry about? Is it going to affect the assisted living industry or not? So make sure you stick around for today's video as we talk through that with you and give you some answers here. Um, Hey, my name is Brandon Gustafson. I help first-time assisted living entrepreneurs launch profitable, purpose-driven businesses in the next 12 months, creating prosperity, purpose, and peace. Super excited to have you here with us on assisted living investing today on the channel, on the podcast today, as we really dive into this and help you make some decisions about whether or not this is the right way for you to be going as you launch your assisted living business. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm shifting things around a little bit. I'm no longer going to share my screen. So if somebody has they love the screen share, then make sure you're commenting down below. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to talk to you and and help you out through a lot of what you're experiencing as you go through just the struggles of trying to launch your own assisted living business, and help you out just through all of this. So let's get into it. The the I do have slides for me though. So the short answer to all of this when it comes to assisted living and the government shutdown and what that's going to look like is um, no, there's no immediate impact actually. And I know there's a lot of people out there that regardless of your political affiliations and political leanings and what you think about what is happening with the government shutdown, the reality of the situation is when it comes to assisted living, there is no immediate impact, not even with Medicaid. And that's the one that you would think that, oh, maybe that's the thing that's really going to hit it. And when it comes to Medicaid, and I'm going to focus on this because that's really the only spot where you could see some kind of an impact in the industry here, is Medicaid is actually funded through quarter 1 next, like the beginning of the year in 2026. So it is deemed an essential program, which the way that the government is shut down at this point is all non-essential programs and non-essential employees are the piece that is shut down. Government funding for things like Medicare and Medicaid, for military spending, those things are deemed essential, and so they continue to be funded for a period of time. So those things, and because they are essential programs, the people that are still working in those departments are largely still working. The non-essential employees are not, but the higher levels are still doing work there. So the benefits and the coverage for these residents that have Medicaid, it is still funded. Their coverage will not lapse. It will not pause. It will working on the side of insurance, and knowing what that side is like, especially this time of year with open enrollment, it's going to be a lot of work for the people that are working in those things. Like I totally understand that. There's going to be a lot of work, but the funding piece of it, the coverage for residents that are on Medicaid, that will not lapse during the government shutdown. So that's good news, right? I would say though that even though the government shutdown does not have an immediate impact on the industry, it does not mean that the shutdown will not cause administrative slowdowns, that it will not make it harder or take it longer to work through things. So by no means am I saying that this is, everything is hunky dory. Everything's great. It's not going to be any problems. I do think that there will be some problems, but it's not going to be from a funding perspective. It will just be how long does it take things to process, is what I would say. So what you may end up experiencing is there would be slower agency response times because of the furloughs, because the non-essential employees are not there, and so there's just more backlog when it comes to responding. Now, I will also say this is a federal government shutdown. State governments, my understanding, are still operating, and so you shouldn't see that with Medicaid, because Medicaid is a state-run program. If you have a question to your Medicaid program that they need to then take up to a federal level, that could cause delays. But generally, with this type of work, you're working only with the state government, so you shouldn't even experience delays there. If you're in nursing homes or you're in a different area of this world of senior living, then you may experience that. If you're dealing specifically with Medicare, you may have something that takes longer, but Medicaid, no. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Medicaid and what that is, type in Medicaid down below, because I have a few videos on Medicaid, but I'm happy to do more of those, because I know Medicaid, Medicare, throwing around government programs, they can be confusing. It can be hard to know which one is applicable to me and how do they work, and it's confusing. I totally get it. So if that's something of interest to you, type in Medicaid down below. Communication as well, with CMS, which is the Center for it's Medicare and Medicaid, basically. I can't too many acronyms when it comes to healthcare and government programs. So communication with CMS and state partners, that could take a little bit longer. But those, and I would say those non-essential outreach programs are also going to potentially be paused. So this would be programs that maybe they're doing education on things like diabetes or cardiac care or something like that. There are training programs that are largely funded by government grants and government programs. I actually worked for companies that are largely funded through those types of programs. The funding for those and the support of those types of programs, that may not exist. Maybe shut down right now. So those are things that you need to be aware of, and those are things that I truly believe in. I think they're good. I've worked in those spaces before. I know the impact that it can have on communities. So I'm not saying that those are that it's again all for that it's that this isn't a great situation. It's just saying that the core piece of running an assisted living business is not impacted when it comes to these shutdowns right now. So there are, I would say, some indirect economics and staffing concerns and impacts, though, when it comes to this. And by that, what I mean is, excuse me, you're going to inevitably have staff members. You're going to have families that could be looking to place their loved ones into facilities, and because of the uncertainties, or because they're not as familiar, they're not watching this video like you are, to learn about how the government shutdowns are impacting the industry. They are it's giving them pause. They're not sure what to do. They are concerned, and so they're not going to take action. They're going to quit their job in this industry and move to a different job that's not as tied to government as a healthcare job. They are going to push pause on looking for a facility, and they're going to just keep their loved one in their home while they wait for the government shutdown. Those are scenarios that I think could have a more direct impact on the industry as a whole. I I mean, I don't know what will happen. This is politics. There's negotiations. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening at higher levels. For all we know, the government could reopen tomorrow. It could be a few more weeks. Who knows what that's like? I would say when it comes to long term, is this going to impact the industry? Are people going to be so turned off by the government shutdown and its potential impact on the healthcare industry that they're not going to use assisted living? No. People are still going to need assisted living. They're still going to use it, even if those programs were shut down and we're in 2026 and the funding for Medicaid dries up. You could still work with private pay individuals and still keep your beds full. So it's not going to have as big an impact. The thing with assisted living that you should be aware of, if you're not already, is assisted living is not nearly as tied to government program funding when it comes to healthcare, and it doesn't have the oversight of the regulations that a lot of other areas in the healthcare industry have, even in the senior living industry space. You do have regulations that you need to follow, but they are more at a state level than at a federal level. The funding is more at a state level than it is at a federal level, or it's more privatized. And that means that it's more specific. This is something I love about assisted living is you're able to be more specific in your care plans and how you are working with your residents to meet their care needs more than you would be in other areas of the healthcare industry. So it's something that personally, having worked in the healthcare industry since 2015, 2010, however long it's been for me, um, how long has it been? 2015, I think. Anyways, having worked in the industry since then, this is something that has always been a pain point for me when it comes to the healthcare industry is there's so much bloat and so much regulation. And I would love if I could wave my magic wand, snap my fingers, and make everything better. I would take out a lot of the regulation and make it much more patient focused. And that's something that I personally love about assisted living is we get to be more patient focused. There is not nearly as much oversight. I think the oversight that we have in assisted living is a lot more appropriate. It is for the safety and care of the residents rather than mandating things and having to worry about a bunch of drug companies that are in it and medical device companies that are in it. You are so much more focused on delivering the care that the resident needs and what their specific care plan is and meeting that. That honestly, that's one of the things that I love the most about assisted living is we get to have that type of impact with people. So, um, sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's something that I truly believe. And because of that and the disconnection there between government programs and what we see with assisted living, I don't think there's nearly as much of an impact as you might see with other areas of the healthcare industry. So that's something I just want to be upfront with you. I would also say that there could be impact potential for inflation to impact some of this, and that could increase costs as well. But I don't know that that's necessarily because of the government shutdown. That could just be because of the world that we live in, and inflation is increasing. That's what I would say there. As far as running the business, though, what I would tell you is that it's still extremely important for you to be spending time and making plans to be financially prepared for whatever is coming up. So you should have a financial management system in place. I love Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. I'll try to link that down below for you on the YouTube page and in the podcast, so you can go get access to that. But having a financial management system, either whether Profit First by Mike Michalowicz or How to Grow Your Small Business by Donald Miller has another great financial management system inside of his book. Regardless of what you do, you should be having that type of a thing in there so you can have a rainy day fund that's going to allow you to weather the storms if you were to not be able to get Medicaid payments for a period of time or something like that. You're allowing yourself to put money into savings, and when that happens, it frees you up to make better decisions and to weather some of these more financially impactful storms as you get into it. I'd encourage you also to diversify your payer mix. Don't put all your eggs in the basket of Medicaid. Kind of mix that up. I think it's good to have a bit of a mixture there, and allow you to work with different types of residents, and through that diversification opens up more doors for you to make sure that you have money flowing into your business on a regular basis. And then I would also, just in preparation for all of these things, make sure you're looking at the state rules and any federal mandates that come out that could impact the industry. You want to be paying attention to those things, because having that information is going to reduce the fear that comes from it, from working in this industry. I mean, some of you may have not even thought about how government shutdown could impact this industry until you saw this video. but being able to stay up to date on the industry, I think is really important. Try to pull out the politics of it and look at just the pure news and the official documents that come out, is what I would also encourage you to do, because it's so easy to get caught up in the politics of what people are saying about a certain thing, and it's better for your mental health to just stay out of that and look at the pure notices that come, what the actual things say, and then even just like throwing that into AI to interpret it for you, so you get an unbiased view of what is going on. And those are the types of things that I think will benefit you quite a bit in helping you prepare for these types of roadblocks when they do come up. Just make sure that you're looking through all of that, and that you feel comfortable with whatever you have going on. So we talked about quite a bit today, in this video. Ultimately, when it comes to the government shutdowns, there's no immediate impact on the industry, which is great. I would say there's potential for some possible administrative slowdowns when it comes to working with government agencies, but you're really going to see that if you're trying to get your facility license for the first time. But those are already that can already take a long time, and I don't know that this is going to have that big of an impact there. Or if you have questions that need to go up around things like Medicaid, that could have an impact on it. I would say that there could be some indirect economic and staffing concerns that you should be aware of, and also preparing for the long term, and making sure you have good sound business practices as you're running your business is important. And so if you found this video, make sure you like the video, subscribe, ring the bell as well, so you get notified every time we put out content like this. We go live on Tuesdays, and we put out content on Thursdays as well. The other thing I wanted to say is we're doing our roadmap challenge this week. So if you missed signing up for that, it's been so much fun to work through it. We went deep into kind of how finances work and how you can underwrite something today. And I could see some light bulbs going off in people's eyes as we did that, and that was a lot of fun. It's too late for you to jump into this challenge, but we do have one coming up again here in a couple of weeks. So if you go to roadmapchallenge.com, you can go check out exactly what we're going to be talking about. It has been a blast. I'm super excited to continue doing those on a regular basis, to help you out. Like it's not a sales like a sales environment at all. It is something where I'm in here. I'm there coaching you, helping you transform and make progress towards launching your assisted living business. It's a ton of fun. I would love to have you on there as well, and help you get through some of the struggles that you're getting into. And our VIP sessions are just Q&A, and we have a really small group this time, so it is a lot of, like, we were going through a floor plan of somebody today in our VIP session. So like, it is granular, it is specific to you and the things that you are trying to work through. So I'd love to have you on our next challenge. Go check that out at roadmapchallenge.com. We're doing one. This next one will start in November. I'd love to have you there, and we'll do another one in January if you don't make the one in November. So I'd love to have you on there. Make sure you go check that out. And if you need some help and some guidance as you're moving through things, go check out my book. Go to thealibook.com. The book is called The Profitable Assisted Living Facility. You can also get it on Amazon. I would love for you to have that book. There's a bunch of bonuses there in the back of it, that can help you out along your journey. It goes through my 5-phase process of launching an assisted living business, which is foundation first, optimal property selection, capital and funding, understanding the rules and regulations, and having a strategic launch. And when you go and follow that focus framework, it makes it so much easier for you to successfully launch an assisted living business. So make sure you go check that out. Again, it's thealibook.com. Would love to have you check that out and help you out with that if you can't fit the challenge into your budget, which it's super affordable, by the way, but I'd love to have you there. Regardless, thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you, again, like the video, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notified every time we put out content like this. Are you curious about assisted living, but you're not sure how to get started? I help at Assisted Living Investing. I help first-time assisted living entrepreneurs launch profitable, purpose-driven businesses in the next 12 months, creating prosperity, purpose, and peace in their lives. It's one of my favorite things to do. That's why we do the challenge. Again, roadmapchallenge.com. But Also, I want to remind you that it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Just keep going step by step by step. And I promise you, if you do and you are consistent and persistent, you're going to be successful. Thank you for watching and have a great day.